Rust just officially became one of the 10 most popular languages in the world according to the Tiobe Index. But I think the story is about more than just Rust's rankings. It's part of a much bigger shift that's happening in software engineering right now. For some context, the Tiobe Index is a monthly ranking that measures how popular programming languages are based on publicly available data like search results, courses, and number of skilled engineers. It's been around for 2 decades and is one of the most well-known programming language rankings. Now, before we talk about Rust, let's look at some of the other languages on the Tiobe Index. So in second and third place, you can see we have C and C++. But one of the interesting things is if we click into C or C++, we can see that C++, for example, has been trending down in popularity for quite a while. And although there's been a recent pickup in popularity since 2022, again, the trend line is still downwards. And if we look at C, it's a pretty similar story here. And the reason I bring up C and C++ is because if we look at the top 10 most popular languages, besides Rust, which is in 10th place, those are really the only 2 other systems programming languages on the list. And if we look at the trend line for Rust, you can see that since 2014, there's been a consistent upwards trend in popularity. In fact, from July 2025 to July 2026, we can see that Rust jumped from 18th place all the way to 10th place, officially becoming one of the 10 most popular languages in the world according to the Tiobe Index for the first time. There are also some other language trends that were pretty surprising to me, for example, Java. If we look at the popularity chart, it's been trending down pretty steeply since 2000. And JavaScript has been going pretty much sideways with a slight positive trend upwards for the past 20 plus years. The one language on this list that's doing very well is Python, which is in first place. And we can see based on this chart that the popularity of Python was sideways from 2024 to 2018, and then it picked up sharply in popularity. And this is of course because of the AI boom and the fact that a lot of AI and ML software, such as libraries, frameworks, and tooling, is written in Python. But Python is actually typically used for the high-level abstractions. The low-level number crunching code is typically C or C++, or more recently Rust. In fact, there's a lot of stories of C and C++ code bases that power Python libraries being converted to Rust, Polars being a really popular example. And I think this is one of the big reasons why Rust is trending up in popularity. Because as more AI infrastructure, libraries, frameworks, and tooling is built out, and the companies building that software want it to be reliable, secure, and performant, then the more it makes sense to use Rust to build that software. So if you're someone who's interested in Rust or systems programming, then this trend line is a really good sign. We already knew that Rust was the most loved programming language based on the Stack Overflow survey for the past decade. But that didn't necessarily mean that Rust was going to get adopted. But now we can also see that Rust is gaining popularity. Over the next several years, I think there's a lot of AI infrastructure that's going to need to be built out, and the software will need to be safe, secure, and performant. There's also a lot of robotic software that needs to get built out as well. Not to mention things like backend infrastructure and tooling, areas that Rust is well suited for. So I don't see this trend upward in popularity stopping anytime soon. But let me know in the comments, where do you think Rust will rank in terms of popularity next year? And if you're interested in learning how to write production Rust, check out our Rust Live Accelerator. It's our tailored mentorship program where we help developers go beyond YouTube videos, build production-grade Rust software, and land their first Rust job. You can join the waitlist for our next cohort by heading over to letsgetrusty.com/join, or by clicking the link in the pinned comment below. When you join the waitlist, we'll also send you our Rust developer roadmap as a small gift. So tap the link, join the waitlist, and I'll talk to you very soon.